If they don't win, it's a shame. It's 1, 2, 3 strikes you're out at the old ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. And it's root, root, root for the home team. And if they don't win, what else is new? There's 1, 2, 3 strikes you're out at the old ball game. Play it, Jethro.
Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're coming to us from. And welcome out to Tempe Diablo Stadium. Joel Becker, and we're hoping for Amber Boletto, possibly Tom Prendergast, as we are underway here for our live game coverage. As we get a ground ball to third by Doug Wolf and a throw over to first for the first out of the game. And let's get you caught up to date on where we are here for this game. It's the 3-2 Rangers against the Central Coast Tigers, 45 and over American Division. And we are underway. 5-3 on the putout for Wolf. That brings up Rich Poe. Just underway here, Tempe Diablo. No score, top of the first, one out, nobody on. Rich Poe at the plate. Pitching for this 3-2 Ranger team is Bill Mann. Throwing from the right side against the left-handed hitting Rich Poe. The pitch was a ball to start off this at-bat. Swings at the second one, lifts one to right field. Glenn Powers ranges over. He will make the catch as he goes down, but it will go down as out number 2, and we are quickly underway. Central Coast Tigers And 3-2 Rangers, 45, and over American Division. So looking forward to a good game here today. That brings up Dale Craig, batting third for the Tigers. He is their catcher. The first two batters, Wolf and Poe, were extra hitters, in case you were wondering. So this is the first position player to hit the batting order. Of course, in MSBL play, for those of you who don't know, you can put as many non-fielders in the batting order as you like. As Craig will take a ball. So the first two were extra hitters. Craig the catcher. He'll be followed by Bob Lord. The shortstop, another extra hitter, Sean Knopf, is next. Then James Hickson, the first baseman, Bill Marshall. The center fielder, Donnie Schuler, the left fielder, Ernie Salinas at third, Mike Jennings at second, as the Tigers bat 10 here in today's game. 1-1 now the count to Dale Craig. Tigers in the white, Rangers in the blue and red. And a called strike, 1-2. Interesting as you get a look here at the battery of Michael Kukta and Bill Mann. But if we can get a shot at the umpire here in just a second, maybe from the center field camera, he is actually wearing the exterior catcher or chest protector, which is extremely unusual these days. It's kind of an old school style. That used to be a regular thing where you saw the exterior chest protector, but nowadays everybody wears them underneath the shirt, and this umpire is actually wearing it outside, so that's kind of unusual, but it is what it is. And there's a swing and a ground ball toward third. Nice high hop by Moranti, and the throw over to second was safe, but the throw to first is out, and so it'll go down as an odd 5-4-3 putout, and and we get ourselves out of the inning. So, no runs, no hits, and they leave one man on base. We go to the bottom of the first here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. Tigers no score, Rangers coming up to bat. Welcome back out to Tempe Diablo Stadium. Joel Becker with you on World Series Baseball, the 25th anniversary of the MSBL World Series. And looking forward to a good game here today, a 45 and over Woodbat American Division game, as the 3-2 Rangers taking on the Central Coast Tigers from San Luis Obispo. 3-2 Rangers from all over the place. Folks from Seattle, Long Island, California, Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona, Canada, from what I hear. So we shall see how things go. A pretty easy first inning for the Rangers. And they lead Dan Glockner off against this Central Coast Tigers team. Steve Tolley, I'm guessing Tolley actually on the mound, T-O-L-E-Y. And the first pitch is taken for a ball. Defense for the Tigers, third to first, Ernie Salinas, Bob Lord, Mike Jennings, James Hickson over at first, James Hickson, and then left to right in the outfield, Donnie Schuler, Bill Marshall, and Chris Forsman, Dale Craig behind the plate, and Steve Tolley on the mound. 1-1 the count to Glockner, and he swings right through that one, 1-2. After Glockner, Kevin King, and then is it Chemo Flores? Those are all three extra hitters. This Ranger team, by the way, has a ton of players. 31, I think, on the roster total. Two the count to Flores. The pitch just missed on that one. 3-2 to Glockner. After Flores, who's another extra hitter, you got a first position player. There's a swing and a miss, and Glockner goes down on strikes for the first out of the inning. Tom Doherty, the right fielder, bats fourth on this Rangers team. Then Rodney Vestal, another extra hitter. Kurt Schmidtke, an extra hitter. Jack Prentice, Alex Garcia, Mike Moranti, the second baseman, and Glenn Powers, the center fielder. They are batting 10, the Rangers as well. So Kevin King steps in. 1 out, nothing doing here. Bottom of the second, no score. Swing and a miss. 0-1. We'll go over the Rangers defense as that one goes way inside. You don't see that too often. Actually behind the batter. A little trouble with the release point. One pitch. Actually, that's a 1-1 pitch. It was a pop-up towards second, and it's going to go off the glove of the second baseman into right field for a base hit. First hit of the game for the Rangers. And there's a man on first with 1 out here in the first inning. So that's going to bring up Chemo Flores, and he's actually playing first base now for the Rangers. They originally had Jerry Lippold listed as the first baseman, but Chemo has come into play. Of course, they're at the plate right now, but when they were in the field, Flores was over at first. 1 on, 1 out. Tolley now pitching from the stretch, and the pitch is a ball bit outside. 1-0. Our first chance to do a little morning baseball here at the 25th anniversary of the MABL World Series. Runner goes, the pitch is outside, the throw down to second, not in time, offline, and a stolen base for Kevin King. Actually, that is not Kevin out there, it's Kevin's spot, but he was courtesy run for, so that would have to be Dan Glockner out there running, who actually stole the base. And I can say personally, as an MSBL player myself, I love getting credited for stolen bases when someone steals them for me. Pitch is 3-0 now to Flores. Man on second, 1 out. Base open. Tom Doherty awaiting on deck. The pitch called a strike. They'll bring Flores back. He thought it was ball 4. Either that or he was trying to sell ball 4 to this umpire who is not buying any of it. So 3-1 the count. The pitch, that time, is a called strike as well. So that'll load the count up for Flores. 3-2 pitch on the way. Fly ball foul back this way over the screen and out of play. Count still 3-2. Actually, when we get a minute, I might actually ask my runner, Shauna, who was kind enough to come up here and help provide me with information to go 3 doors down that way to the umpire office and find out who these two umpires are, so we can identify them correctly. 3-2 pitch outside for a ball. And that will send Flores to first. First and second, 1 out for Doherty. No score, bottom of the first. Rangers trying to get on top in this game. When I get a second, I will check on previous action for these two teams. First pitch gets away from the catcher. The runners go, and no throw is made. So a wild pitch will send them to second and third with 1 out. So 2 runners in scoring position for the cleanup hitter, Tom Doherty. Tolley with a little trouble here in the bottom of the first inning. No score in the game so far, 1 out. Runners at second and third. He does have a base open. The pitch is swung on and fouled back. Out of play. Off the press box. Count 1-1. Rodney Vestal on deck. Another extra hitter. And that ball got away again. And a run comes home. And we have ourselves our first run of the game, 1-0. Another wild pitch. Did we get a look at that? Do we have a look at that? No. Okay, so 1-0 our score. 1-2 the count, the pitch. Taken for a ball, 2-2. So King got on a single. He was courtesy run for by Dan Glockner, who had struck out in the inning already. And he stole second, went to third on a wild pitch, and came home on a wild pitch. Pitch is up and in. Full count again to Vestal. That's the second straight batter that Tolley has gone full on. The Rangers are 0-2 so far in the tournament. There's a slap ball into right field. Base hit. We'll see if they send him. No. Runners at the corners and 1 out for Rodney Vestal. And Doherty comes through with a base hit with 1 out. First and third. In 2 games yesterday over in Maryvale, the 3-2 Rangers lost to the All-Star Baseball Academy 4-3 and lost to Team United Nasty Boys 8-7. That was in action yesterday. They play today here against Central Coast. Then their next game is until tomorrow at 10 a.m. against the San Diego Mariners over at Salt River. I haven't been to Salt River. It's a very nice facility. They'll like it. 1 out, runners at the corners. Rodney Vestal at the plate. Rodney, an extra hitter, squares to bunt, takes a ball. The runner steals second base. The catcher, Craig, lost a handle on it when he went to throw. I don't know if he would have thrown through or not. But it'll go down as a stolen base. Now runners at second and third and 1 out. Central Coast, they are 1-1. They mighty swing and miss there by Vestal. They lost their first game over at Maryville yesterday in the morning to the Houston Baseball Club 6-5. So we have 3 one-run losses by these two teams in 4 games. The other one they won 13-8 over the All-Star Baseball Academy. So the 1-1 pitch is taken high for a ball, 2-1. So the Central Coast team, down in the game 1-0, has actually beaten the team that the Rangers lost to. Ooh, the 2-1 pitch comes in and hits him. Vestal will get first base. And the base is loaded for Kurt Schmidtke. That one just got away from Tolley, who's had some issues with control. He hasn't walked too many guys. As that one comes in and plunks Vestal right on the shoulder. So Kurt Schmidtke standing in. Another extra hitter. As we mentioned, This Ranger team is loaded with players. So a lot of extra hitters in the batting order. They may at some point. As we have a time called and the runner on first over to chat with the base umpire, who, by the way, is Mike Bell. In case you were wondering, Jeff Sharp behind the plate. I'm guessing it's Sharp, who's known as Sarge, who's using the external chest protector. So the conversation over. I'm not really sure what that might have been all about. Defensively, the Tigers playing in at the corners, double play depth up the middle to Schmidtke. The pitch is smacked foul off the screen near the Rangers dugout. Count 1-1 in the bottom of the first, 1-0 for the Rangers, but they have the bases loaded. That one a strike, 1-2. Bases loaded, 1 out. Schmidtke at the plate. Flores walked. Doherty singled, and Vestal was hit by the pitch. There's a swing and a shot into right center field. That's going to get down for a hit. 1 run is in. 2nd run on the way. The throw comes in from right field. It's cut off. 2 runs in, and the Rangers on top, 3-0. So Kurt Schmidtke comes through with the 2-run single. We will take a look at it here in just a second. And as you can see, went the other way with it into right center field. The right fielder, Forsman, came in, made a good play, but the throw didn't have any chance to make it. And 2 runs come in. So the 2-run single by Schmidtke makes it a 3-0 game for the Rangers. We'll see if they can hang on in this one. Brings up Jack Prentice, who is now 2-0. Prentice, another extra hitter. Longtime MSBLer, 10 years in the league for Jack Prentice. He'll be followed by Alex Garcia, another extra hitter. And a swing and a miss to make it 2-2. So out of the 10 batters, only 4 are actually in the field. 2-2 pitch, swung on, hit to left. Donnie Schuler over, camps under it, will make the catch and get it back in before anybody can tag. 2 away. So 2 away for Alex Garcia. He will be followed by Mike Moranti. There are 2 Morantis on this Ranger team. There are also 2 Dohertys on the team, but one of them's the manager, Laura, who doesn't see the field very often. 0-2 the count to Garcia, excuse me. Pitch on the way, up high for a ball, 1-2. There's a shot that's going to be knocked down. Great play by the second baseman Jennings over to first. And that will do it for the Rangers. 4-3 on the put-up, but that doesn't really tell you what kind of a good play that was. We will try and take a look at it as we head out to the 2nd inning of play. We've played 1 here at Tempe Diablo, and it is 3-0 for the Rangers. Welcome back out to Tempe Diablo Stadium. Joel Becker and MSBL World Series Baseball. The 3-2 Rangers against the Central Coast Tigers in 45 and over Woodbat American Division action. Sean Knopf, James Hickson, and Bill Marshall due up for the Tigers here in the top of the second, now facing a 3-0 deficit. Excuse me, Bob Lord will lead things off. So apparently there was nobody on base in the last inning when Craig hit into the 5-4-3 putout. I'm going to just guess. So it's Lord, Knopf, and Hickson. I'm going to just guess that the third baseman for the Rangers, Matt Moranti, probably just didn't think he could make the throw and threw second to first to get relayed it, I guess. Hey, it works. They're all outs. 1-1 pitch driven into left field. Over for it, Costello. He'll make the catch, one away. So 4 straights out, for starting pitcher Bill Mann of the 3-2 Rangers, and he seems to be on at least to get things going here in today's game. Promised you that I would get this Ranger defense down. And we'll do that in just a second. But first, I'll mention the next batter is Sean Knopf, standing in from the right side against the righty man. And the first pitch is over but low for, no, excuse me, I guess it was called, no, it was over but low. 1-1. I missed a pitch. So that defense, left to right, Costello, Glenn Powers, and Tom Doherty in right field. Matt Moranti, Al Simmons, Mike Moranti at second. Jerry Lippold was the original starter at first, but they did change that to Kimo Flores. And there's a tap in front of the mound, but that went off of the batter, so a foul ball. So Kimo Flores at first. Our battery is Michael Kukta and Bill Mann. Shauna says, sure. 2-2 the count. Suppose you could radio down and ask him. It's Kukta. I actually wrote it down on the roster if I remember correctly. Yeah, I did. Kukta. There's a ground ball up the middle, short. Simmons over to first. 2 away. So, as we said before, Bill Mann looking very sharp today. He's faced down his first 5. Brings up James Hickson. As we mentioned already, the Central Coast Tigers have not suffered from lack of runs. They scored 5 in their first game and 13 in their second. So, they've scored 18 in 2 games. There's another ground ball. 2 short. Simmons up with it over to first. 3 up, 3 down. 3 straight, 3 up, 3 down innings, or 2 straight, for the Rangers against this Tiger offense. We go to the top of the second, still 3-0 for the Rangers. Welcome back out to Tempe Diablo Stadium. Joel Becker, MSBL, MABL World Series Baseball 25th anniversary. Bottom of the second inning, 3-0 for the 3-2 Rangers. As Mike Moranti, Glenn Powers in the top of the order due up for the Rangers, as they sent 8 batters up in the top of the first and scored 3 runs. On 3 base hits, there was a hit batsman, couple of stolen bases, couple of wild pitches. No errors, and they actually left 2 men on base as well. So Mike Moranti, the second baseman, one of only 4 position players in the lineup. They actually only had 3 when they started out, but then they added Flores. There's a swing and a fly ball to center field. That is going to drop in for a base hit. So the Rangers picking up where they left off. No activity in the bullpen for the Tigers. I realize it's only the 2nd inning, but Steve Tolley's having his problems, at least, to start things off. Brings up Glenn Powers. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing that Mr. Glenn Powers is one of the big characters on the team. Sean nods her head. They call him Doc. What kind of a doctor is he? An anesthesiologist. So they don't just call him Doc, he is a doc. That's always good, because he doesn't fit the profile of the normal baseball player they call Doc. But he is one. 0-1. Squares to bunt and takes a strike. 0-2. Ernie Salinas charging in at third when he saw Powers square around. Powers batting 9th, top of the order, and Dan Glockner is due up next. Oh-2 count. The pitch is just a bit outside for a ball. Let's fix that. And Tom Prendergast joining us in the booth. Hi, Tom.
Morning, Joel. Nice to be here.
I'm glad to have you. 3-0. Swing and a line drive. That one out of play on the first base side. Already the Rangers 0-2 on the series so far, but taking it to the Tigers so far 3-0.
They were aggressive early with the squeeze play.
They were. And that one's going to come inside and hit Glenn Powers. Second hit batsman by Steve Tolley. And so first and second, nobody out in the top of the order.
Joel, these 3-2 Rangers, they're from
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Some of them are, but they list Washington, New York, California, Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona, and Canada.
That's a proverbial all-star team.
I would say so. But some of them were talking in the dugout as Glockner squares the bunt and takes the ball high. Some of them were talking in the dugout about back home and issues with the storm and all. And, of course, our best wishes go out to everybody who's suffering. Squares the bunt again and takes another ball.
Well, we're oblivious to that down here. It's all over the news, however.
Yes.
And I would imagine if you're a player down here and you see on the news your car floating down your street.
Not something you want to see. Glockner squares again. He bunts this one foul. Went after a ball out of the strike zone on a 2-0 pitch. It's now 2-1. So, yeah, definitely not something you want to see. You know when the last hurricane was that went through Phoenix? I'm going to guess never.
Boy, Joel, I'm going to have to look at the... Is that something we could Google?
I'm sure we could.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not even sure when the last time was it rained here, much less a hurricane. Beautiful day. Not a cloud in the sky. Gorgeous blue sky.
Joel, it kind of reminds me of that, the movie The Day After Tomorrow.
Does
with
it?
All the water in the streets and the tunnels.
I don't think it was quite that bad. 2-2 and a pop-up on the infield. Is it going to be an infield fly? They say no. It drops in, so the throw down to third. They'll get the force out. Not the double play, though. And first and second with one out. 7-5 on the force.
I thought that was the right call.
That it shouldn't have been an infield fly?
I don't think that should have been an infield fly.
Well, I agree with you because Bob Lord over there at short, he may have been able to make the play, but not with what you would call ordinary effort.
No. And he wasn't camped under the ball. So
I think a good call. And they weren't able to get a double play. It's Kevin King standing in. He singled and scored in his first at bat. Technically, he singled and his courtesy runner scored, but still goes down for that. I said earlier, nothing. Runners go. There's a swing and a pop foul. It's going to go back toward the screen. Can't make the play. So it'll just go down as a foul ball and a strike, 1-1. I said nothing makes me happier when I can get credit for a stolen base that somebody else did.
Of course.
As a courtesy runner.
Joel, have we talked at all about our female manager down here?
Well, I did actually mention her briefly, yes. I said that while they have two players with the same name, Moranti, in there, they also have two Dohertys, the second one being the manager, Laura Doherty.
Wow.
Who doesn't see the field very much, but is wearing number 3. 1-1 the count. That's a pop-up behind home. This time the catcher, Craig, makes a nice play and then has the wherewithal to slide and turn and throw over to first to make sure nobody's able to advance.
That was heads up. You and I see a lot of teams out here, Joel. This is the first time, well, maybe the second time, we've actually seen a woman
with as a manager.
Yeah. So I think we should talk to her.
Well, we could yell out the window at her, I guess.
I thought it should be a little bit more formal than that, maybe after the game interview.
Well, when Amber Boletto, I'm sure she would be happy to talk. There's a fly ball out to left. Long way to go for Schuler, and he cannot make the catch. One run is in, a second one coming behind. He will score, and it is 5-0. So Kimo Flores.
Yeah, he just lost that in the sun, Joel.
And it's a very tough sun, so we'll call it a 2-run single. Let's take a look at it. Flores with runners at first and second, and it's hard to tell with the shadows, but the sun is right over the left fielder's vision.
He's looking right into that.
And you can see the 2 runs coming in. Good running there by Dan Glockner coming in behind Glenn Powers. They both score to make it a 5-0 lead. So things going well for the Rangers right now. If you're a Tiger fan, though, don't despair too badly. We have certainly seen Flores, by the way, went to second on the throw, as Doherty will pop one back here and out of play, 0-1. But we have certainly seen teams come back from bigger deficits than 5-0 in the second. There's a fly ball out toward right field and kind of deep. Forsman back for it. He will camp under it, make the catch, and that will end the inning. But they pick up another 2 runs on 2 base hits, a man hit, and they left 1 man on base. We'll go to the top of the 3rd inning here from Tempe Diablo. It's 5-0 for the Rangers. Welcome back out to Tempe Diablo Stadium. Joel Becker, Tom Prendergast. Central Coast Tigers 3-2 Rangers. 5-0 for the Rangers. We go to the top of the 3rd. Bill Marshall standing in to face Bill Mann, who has mowed down the first 6. Starts off Marshall with the ball. The second pitch taken. Sarge says it's a little high, and 2-0. Marshall, Schuler, and Salinger due up for the Tigers. I should say Salinas. As the 3-0 pitch taken down central for a strike. If anybody gets on, Mike Jennings, as there's a pop foul out of play on the third base side. Mike Jennings and the top of the order. As the Tigers get their first base runner. Ball 4. And Marshall trots down to first. So, man was perfect through 2. Set down the first 6 he faces. Now he'll throw from the stretch for the first time as he faces Donnie Schuler. Schuoler. First pitch outside for a ball. As man having just a hair of trouble with control here starting off the bottom of the third. If you're the Rangers in this situation, you definitely don't want to open a window of hope for the Tigers. 2-0. Very pleasant day in Phoenix today. Strike called on the 2-0 pitch. Makes it 2-1 to Donnie Schuler, the left fielder, who's had some trouble with the sun and also made a couple of good plays in the first couple of innings. 2-1 pitch. That one is sent out to right center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Doherty Overfort cuts it off, and that will keep Marshall at second base. First and second, and nobody out. First hit of the game for the Tigers, so let's take a look at it. Bill Mann loses his no-hitter here in the third with the shot into right center field. Good job, though, by Doherty, as you could see, coming over to cut that off. So it's only first and seconds. Nobody out, though, and Ernie Salinas standing in, or at least approaching the plate. Started to say very pleasant day here in Phoenix. It's not, I don't think, it might be in the low 70s by now. And, of course, local time is only 9:45 or 9:42. They squared a bunt, send one down the third base line. Very good bunt, but it's going to roll foul. So 0-1. Interesting with a 5-0 deficit that they would choose to give up an out. 66 degrees, I'm being told. So not even the low 70s. Extremely pleasant. I think the forecast high today is about 85 or so. Sean is going to find out. Don't worry. I'll know in just a minute. Forecast high of 90. Okay, so it'll heat up. But it's 66 now, which is nice. 0-1 the count to Salinas. Beautiful day, Tom.
Boy, you can't beat the weather down here, Joel.
You cannot. First and second. We'll see if he squares again. He does, and he misses. 0-2. They throw back down to second. Not quite in time. Good throw, though, by Cookta behind the plate.
Joel, it dawns on me. I'd like to know how these guys all got together from this 3-2 Ranger team.
Well,
how did they all find each other?
Perhaps when we talk with Laura Doherty after the game, the manager, we could find out.
I think that's a very logical question.
0-2 the count. We'll see if he squares with 2 strikes. No, he doesn't, and he takes a pitch inside. Well, what do you think about this? They're down 5-0, first and second, nobody out, and the first 2 pitches he squared to bunt. You'd think they'd want to go for a big inning.
Well,
swing and a number in front of the pitcher. That's going to accomplish the same thing. The throw over to first, and they will get him for the out, but the runners do advance, and so it will be second and third with 1 out. So it was what ended up turning out to be a swinging bunt. We'll take a look at it here.
I thought that was the right play, Joel. That made sense to me. They were trying to stay away from a double play.
Yeah.
Maybe get 2 runs back this inning.
And a good play by Mann to at least get the guy at first. But you got your number 10 hitter up now with runners on second and third and 1 out. Swing and a miss. Mike Jennings, the second baseman, standing in his first trip to the plate here in the third inning. The pitcher, Bill Mann, was perfect through 2. There's a swing and a fly ball into left field shallow and in foul ground. Overfort makes the catch. Does Costello? The runner will tag. The throw toward the plate will be offline. They'll throw down to third and not in time.
That's a heads-up play by the runner, by both runners.
By both runners. You know, as that ball was traveling, it actually occurred to me that I wonder whether he really should have caught it or not. But, you know, with a 5-0 lead, you'll go ahead and take the out and sacrifice the run.
I agree.
So if we have a chance to take a look at it, the runner over on third, Donnie Schuler, a little slow in getting up. But here's the fly ball. And you can see the runners tagging. You can't see the ball went well into foul territory, made the catch, and the throw came into the plate. It was offline. Runner came in to score. The throw down to third was a little bit late, but on the slide, Schuler a little slow in getting up. He seems to be okay. Top of the order, and Doug Wolf. So 1 run home. We're 5-1. Wolf swings at the first pitch. Nice play by the third baseman over to first, and a good scoop by Flores at first to end the inning. And we'll check it out as we go to the bottom of the third. The Tigers get on the board. After 2.5, it's 5-1. Welcome back out to Tempe Diablo Stadium. Joel Becker, Tom Prendergast. As the 3-2 Rangers on top of the Central Coast Tigers. 5-1 after 2.5 innings. Bottom of the third, and the Rangers will send up their 5, 6, and 7 men. Rodney Vestal, Kurt Schmidtke, and Jack Prentice to face Steve Tolley.
Joel, I'm sure you guys noticed our home plate umpire, Sarge, is wearing the old-time protector.
Yes.
You don't see that very often.
External chest protector.
You don't see that very often anymore.
No. We got to look at it earlier, but it bears seeing again on every pitch. I'm guessing that Sarge, this is probably not his first game umpiring, that he's been doing this for a little while.
Yeah, he's been around.
Still has. There's a fly ball out to right field. Is that going to be fair? It is fair. Vestal on first. He's going to head into second. Ball loose in the corner. Vestal trots into second with a double. So a leadoff double by Rodney Vestal. And we already have something going for the Rangers again here in the third. We'll take another look at it. You know, it's almost like they know that if they hit the ball to the side, it'll be out of our frame. But it landed probably about, what, 5 feet fair maybe on the right field side?
And it's actually a little bit tough to pick up that line.
Yeah. In the sun, and the paint is kind of...
Yeah. But our first base umpire, he was right on it, boy.
Right on it. And Sarge, too. First pitch swinging, and a base hit to left field for Kurt Schmidtke. His second hit of the game. First and third, nobody out. So the Rangers, after having given up a run in the top of the third, coming right back. First and third, nobody out for Jack Prentice.
What do you do here, Joel? Bunt and steal?
I let him swing away. And he does at the first pitch, and it's going to be a foul on the third base side by about 3 feet or so. 0-1.
I would probably bunt and steal.
Number 7. Well, first of all, with runners at first and third, the likelihood is if you send the guy on first, they're not even going to throw down.
That's exactly correct.
So you mean fake bunt and steal?
No, I would still bunt.
See,
I would still bunt.
I would not with the number 7 batter in the order up. So that pitch floats outside for a ball 1-1. Because you've got your 8, 9, and 10 coming up after him. Why give up an out with a guy who could hopefully get the guy home from third at least by putting the ball in play? Even if you end up with a double play, you score a run.
Right.
And it's the bottom of the order behind it.
That's the trade-off. Double play,
the
run.
potential for a double play. Now a delayed steal down to second, and they do not throw. So into second base goes Schmidtke, and that kind of makes the conversation moot, doesn't it?
He got down there. That's the key thing.
That's the thing. So no double play. 3-1 the count to Prentice, and the pitch is ball 4. And that is a walk. I believe that is only the second walk of the game.
Can't defend that, Joel.
He's also hit 2 batters, though, has Steve Tolley. And a courtesy runner coming in for Prentice, which would be Tom Doherty. Alex Garcia stands in. He grounded to second his first time up. Mighty swing, but misses. 0-1.
You know, do you think there's a book of quotes that they have for color commentators?
I'm sure there is. We could check and see if Tim McCarver maybe wrote one.
He'd be the perfect guy to, because it just seems to me there's a lot of times during the game that those cliches would come in handy.
I'm sure there are. There is a fly ball out to right field. It's going to go foul, and nobody will get there, out of play, just barely into the seats.
Our director thinks that possibly this 3-2 team could be made up of guys from the military.
Anything's possible.
Not a bad guess.
Well, we could ask Shauna. She would know. She says that he lost his bet.
Hey, heads up.
Foul ball back here.
Where's that net? Do we got a net?
It's went over the net.
Okay. No, I mean,
you mean the catching
yeah.
net, like a fishing thing or something?
Right.
No. Just use our hands. And all of this expensive equipment.
Oh,
Ooh, nice play by the pitcher on the comebacker to first. And it hits the batter. It was to home for 1 and to first, hit the batter runner on the way down. And luckily he was running inside the box. We'll get a look at that one, but it'll go down as a fielder's choice. 1-2 for the first out. As you can see, great play there by Tolley to stab that one. Went to second, and unfortunately you can't see it hit the runner, the batter runner, but he was running in his runner's box. So base is still loaded now for Mike Moranti. So fielder's choice, no RBI. There's no run scored.
And that was a huge break.
Yeah.
It was bad the runner got hit with the ball, but he kept it, from going into the outfield.
Right field, yeah. Because the fact that it hit him means that it was offline. It was also a little low. It hit him in the calf. So both teams catching a break in that situation. There is a pop foul on the infield. This is an infield fly, and it is caught for the out. They tag and make him throw it, but interestingly, if he had gone, since that one went off of Dale Craig, it probably would have scored, but it'll go down as an infield fly for the second out, and Glenn Powers. So, as it turns out, as we were talking about the bottom of the order ending up coming up, and so far they have not been able to push that run across that was on third with nobody out. There are now 2 outs and the bases loaded.
Well, this would be huge for the Tigers if they can keep those guys from scoring.
Well, if Powers can do the same thing as he did the last time and get hit by the pitch, then that would score a run.
Right.
This is Doc Powers. He is an anesthesiologist, we think. Pitch outside for a ball, 2-0.
Is that the kind of guy that puts you to sleep?
Yes.
Okay. There's a lot of people that do that, Joel, that don't have that title.
Uh-huh. I used to know an anesthesiology nurse. They said they sometimes are pejoratively referred to as gas passers. Three and 1 to Powers from the left side. A swing and a foul straight back. He was right on it. Hit a hard line drive in his last at bat that went foul. 3-2, 2 outs. Runners will go. Sacks are jammed. And there they go as the pitch comes in, swing and a miss. Powers goes down, and they get out of the inning without any damage done. So they had, at one time, the bases loaded and nobody out in this one. No runs do come across. We've played 3 here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. With the score, Rangers on top 5-1. Welcome back out to Tempe Diablo Stadium. Joel Becker along with Tom Prendergast as the 3-2 Rangers taking on the Central Coast Tigers. 5-1 our score after 3 innings of play, top of the 4th. And 2, 3, and 4 for Central Coast. Rich Poe, Dale Craig, Bob Lord went down in order their first times up. But they did push across a run last inning. We'll see if they can't build on it here. Facing Bill Mann. Dan Glockner came in to play center field last inning. He's playing a little bit to pull against Poe, who flew out to center to Glenn Powers his first time up back in the first. 0-1 the count. The pitch is swung on, hit to right. In for it, Doherty. Out for it is Moranti, and neither one will be able to get there. And so a little Texas leaguer for a base hit to lead things off for Poe. The pitch was up high and sent out into right field, dropped in between the fielders, and Poe at first base with another leadoff hit. So the last 2 innings, the leadoff hitter has gotten on. A walk last inning, a hit this one, and that brings up Dale Craig. First pitch, outside for a ball. Craig, the catcher, has been busy behind the plate for the first 3 innings. That can take a toll on your legs. 1-0 the counts. Grounded to third his last time up. The runner goes. The pitch is swung on, hit out to right. That is going to drop in for a hit. And then it gets by the right fielder, Doherty, and backing up on the play, Glockner knocks it down, but that will allow Poe to get over to third base. So a single for Craig and an error on Doherty to send him to third. As you can see, he couldn't quite field it on the bounce, and Poe, who had stopped at second, went all the way around third. Mike Jennings comes in to run for Craig, the catcher. Courtesy runner, and that will bring up Bob Lord first and third, and nobody out. So the second straight inning that the Central Coast Tigers have something going offensively here.
Well, like you said, Joel, no lead is ever safe in the MSBL World Series.
Cleanup hitter. I would assume he won't be scoring to bunt here.
Although I must say, the Legends lead was pretty safe.
I think so. I think the Legends leads was safe before the game ever started.
I thought Nick Lowry said it best when he said all they needed was a couple touchdowns and they're right back in the game.
Yep. He stole that from me, by the way. I said that I think about 3 innings before he did.
He's done that a lot.
Yeah.
He really does.
Well, he does have a football background.
Yeah. His closing line was, number 8 for the Kansas City Chiefs, number 1 in your heart. Wasn't that a Bob Plager line?
Could be. Keeping a good eye on on the runner for Craig Jennings at first, and they throw back over again.
Oh,
they call him out.
Oh, my gosh.
Mike Bell, the base umpire, and I tell you what, Mike Jennings can't believe it. We'll get another look over to first, and boy, he sure didn't look out to me.
No. Mike Jennings is the only one that can't believe that. Holy cow.
So caught stealing. I tell you what, as much as you like it when you get credit for a stolen base, when you have somebody courtesy running for you, it's even worse when you get caught stealing or...
Well, it doesn't matter. You can't get picked off. You just can't get picked off.
Jennings taking his time getting back. We'll be seeing some changes in the batting order as this game goes along. 5-1 our score. Now man on third and one out. Throw back down to third. Nice little play by Moranti over there to get that one on one hop. And finally, did you notice that Mike Bell had gone all the way down to the A position, thinking that there was nobody on base? He suddenly realized there's somebody in third, but he better go back out to the middle of the infield.
I did notice that, Joel.
0-2 the count, the pitch. Taken just a bit outside. 1-2.
For the two umpires that are watching the game at home, I'm sure they noticed it too.
Yeah, it could be.
The other people, A, B position, have no clue.
1-2 pitch outside for a ball, 2-2. By the way, Shauna says that she thinks the Rangers just basically were a meshed together team. Ground ball towards short. They will throw to first for the out, hold the runner at third, and there's two away. Good play there by Al Simmons. He's made a few of them at short.
Yeah.
But the big play was to hold that runner. 2 outs.
Well, the difference in that play, Joel, with that pickoff, that would have been a double play, and the run would have scored.
Right.
So they would have given up the run, and so that's a huge play.
Pickoff was a big one. Brings up Sean Knopf. He grounded to short his last time up. 5-1, top of the fourth. There's a fly ball. Right center field, could be trouble, and over for it is Doherty. He'll make the catch, and the inning is over, so both teams having an opportunity with runners on third and nobody out in the last 2 innings, and neither team has been able to score. We go to the bottom of the third at Tempe Diablo. It's 5-1 for the Rangers on MSBL World Series Baseball. Welcome back out to Tempe Diablo Stadium. Joel Becker along with Tom Prendergast, MSBL World Series Baseball. Rangers come to bat, and they are going to add a batter to the bottom of the lineup as Rex Cox will follow Powers, who made the last out, the second strikeout of the game by this pitcher, Steve Tolley. And then we'll go to the top of the order. So Cox is standing in from the left side, and we have at least one person up here in the booth that is very interested to see how he does.
I'm hoping for a single, Joel.
Because
you weren't talking about me.
Our runner, Shauna, this is her husband.
Right. I'm concerned about him, too.
Okay. Well, everybody's concerned. Well, it's not concerned. Rooting for him. We root for everybody. 1-1 the count. There's a fly ball foul, third base side out of play. 1-2.
I happen to know that he's from Oklahoma.
There you go. He's actually from Seattle. From Seattle? Okay. Apparently we didn't know he was from Oklahoma.
By way of Seattle.
By way of Seattle. 1-2. Outside. On the breaking ball, 2-2. So if he strikes out, Shauna, do you put him to work at home? Does he have to do chores and stuff? He has to walk home. 2-2. Swinging a line drive into right field, but right at the right fielder Forsman for the out. Boy, he hit that one right on the button. Just didn't place it very well as it turned out, one away. That'll bring up Dan Glockner, the top of the order for the Rangers. They lead it 5-1 here in the bottom of the fourth. 3 in the first, 2 in the second. They had an opportunity to get runs in the third. Couldn't convert. Ernie Salinas is playing in very shallow at third, expecting a possible bunt. 0-1 pitch.
I talked to UIC Dick Jolin. He said Sarge has been wearing the balloon for quite a number of years.
The external chest protector. 1-1 pitch. Taken for a ball, 2-1.
It was a present from his girlfriend.
Oh.
How about that?
How about that? 2-1 to Glockner. And he will take a strike, 2-2. So I wonder, before he got the present from his girlfriend, did he wear an internal one?
I'm guessing he did.
2-2. Swing and a ground ball. Slow roller to second. Jennings over to first. And 2 away. So quickly 2 outs here in the fourth, as maybe Tully has settled down a little bit after giving up 5 in the first 2 innings. Brings up Kevin King. He is 1 for 2. Singled and scored in the first. And popped out foul to the catcher in the second.
In the best case scenario, Joel, the score should be 3-1. Tully was, victimized, kind of, by some, bad sun fielding.
Absolutely. Was able to work himself out of a jam last inning. 2-0 to King. Tully's pitch, taken right down the middle for a strike, 2-1. Central Coast Tigers are from San Luis Obispo. It's a lot simpler. So apparently the Rangers were patched together from all over. Just one guy knew another guy, and so on and so forth. A couple of guys that play on my Kansas City Knights team, I think, came out to play for different teams here. They did last year.
Sure.
There's a fly ball out into left field and deep. Schuler back for it. Will he be able to get there? Yes. Backtracking and makes the catch. So 3 up, 3 down. First time in the game for the Rangers. We will go to the top of the 5th here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. And it is 5-1 for 3-2. Welcome back out to Tempe Diablo Stadium. Joel Becker, Tom Prendergast. Central Coast Tigers 3-2 Rangers.
Joel, this weekend we had the trade show.
We did.
Wall Street Trade Show out here, and
ended yesterday, right?
As you know, it did. But the crowds were just phenomenal. This weekend. Tempe Diablo was the place to be.
Yeah, well, of course we had that Legends game as well that you got to see live. James Hickson, Bill Marshall, Donnie Schuler due up for the Tigers, trailing 5-1, top of the 5th. Facing Bill Mann, who's gone the whole way for the Rangers so far. The 0-1 pitch is a strike, 1-1. Hickson Grounded to short to end the second in his only other plate appearance. They have only gone around the order 1.5 times so far, and we're in the 5th. That's usually an indication that the pitcher's doing a good job.
He's doing a very good job.
1-2 the count. The pitch on the way outside. Nice stop by Kukta. And 2-2. This is our last scheduled live webcast, by the way. There's a ground ball to first. Flores makes the play. He will keep it himself for the out. 3 unassisted, 1 away.
Well, because it's our last scheduled live broadcast, Joel, I'd like to talk to Vic Puglisi and get some input from him.
Who's Vic Puglisi?
Good question. You're about to find out. How about that?
Any relation to our director, Mike Puglisi?
I'm sure. All those people in Hollywood they're connected some way. It seems like there's a lot of nepotism in Hollywood. It kind of goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Mm.
You don't get anywhere unless you know somebody.
Yeah.
You know, for me, luckily, I know you.
Right. Well, and, you know, my father, Paul Newman. No, I'm just kidding.
Isn't he running for Senate out here or Congress? He's running for something. Paul Newman here.
There is a Paul Newman who is running? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of signs out here for him.
Bill Marshall takes a ball 1-1 the count. Marshall was the first base runner in the game for the Tigers. He walked and scored to lead off the third. He's the only man to go around to score for the Tigers. They trail it 5-1. There's a pop-up foul ground third base side. Moranti over, fights the sun, makes the catch, and there's 2 away. So 2 up, 2 down quickly here in the 5th as Mann, who struggled a little bit in the 3rd, gave up the 1 run and did allow a couple of hits in the 4th as well, is settled back down, it seems, as Dennis Schuler comes up. He singled his only other time up, was stranded at 3rd. A pair of 54s going at it here. There's a ground ball to second, over to first. 3 up, 3 down for the Tigers. We have played 4.5 here at Tempe Diablo, and the Rangers still comfortably ahead in this one, 5-1. Welcome back out to Tempe Diablo Stadium. Joel Becker along with Tom Prendergast. Looks like the Tigers are making some defensive changes. Rich Poe will head on out to left field to take over for Donnie Schuler. Mike Jennings, who was playing second, has moved behind the plate. He is catching for Dale Craig, and then Doug Wolf has moved in to play second base for the Tigers team. And they will face the Rangers' heart of the order. Flores, Darty, and Vestal, 3, 4, 5 hitters for the 3-2 Rangers. So what is 3-2? I'm sure people are wondering what does 3-2 mean. You know,
I'm wondering too.
We call them the 3-2 Rangers.
Were you asking me that question?
I was asking you that question.
Oh, yeah.
As the tournament director, I thought you might know. There's a base hit to right field. Line drive by Flores. That's the 3rd time he's been on. 2 for 2 with a walk and a couple of base hits.
To me, it sounds like a fraction, Joel, but hey, what do I know?
It sounds like 5 to me. 3-2. That's what they got. 3 in the first, 2 in the second. 5-1. Bottom of the 5th inning. Threatening again with another leadoff hitter on. Let's see. That is the 3rd out of 5 times they've gotten the leadoff hitter on. They've scored 1 of those times. Doherty up, singled, and flew out to right. Scored in the 1st inning. Guess who's here, Tom?
Shauna?
Well, yes.
What do I win?
Squares the bunt, bunts it in front of home. They're going to throw to second, and not in time.
Oh.
Tell me he didn't call him out.
Tell
me he didn't call him out.
I'm not going to tell you that.
He was clearly safe.
I'm not going to tell you that, Joel.
Let's take another look at that.
I'm not going to tell you that. And I don't think we should look at it.
Okay.
The umpire called him out, so he's out.
I guess
That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. Hey, next to me in the broadcast booth is our executive producer, Vic Puglisi. Vic, welcome.
Well, thank you, Tom. Thank you, Joel. Pleasure to be here.
So, wow. Did you watch that play, Vic?
Stop it. Stop talking about that.
You're an umpire.
I am.
So, obviously, you're blind and we can't ask you anything.
No, you could ask me whatever you'd like. I don't always agree with every call, especially when I'm coaching. So, but I think Tom nailed it. The umpire called him out, so he's out.
Must be out.
Well, we know he's out.
Vic, let's change the subject. Talk about something positive. MSBL World Series Trade Show. You hit a home run.
I thought you were going to bring up, that one hits him.
Ooh.
And so that's a 3rd guy that Tully has hit. He only gets 1 more, huh?
Well, I think what he's asking him, Joel, is he squared around to bunt and put himself in the line of fire.
It actually makes no difference whether he...
Well, you and I know that. I think that's what the pitcher was asking him.
He doesn't like it too much, as you can see. He's upset.
No.
But you can square like that. The question is where the pitch is. If you squared a bunt and the pitch is a strike and it hits you, then it's still a strike and you don't get first base.
And I think that's what Tully was arguing.
Yeah. But if the pitch is a ball and it hits you, whether you've squared or not, or even, whatever, unless you're in the act of swinging, as runners go, the throw down to 3rd.
Got him.
Safe. I don't think he hung on to the ball. So, no, he did hang on to the ball. Well, I tell you what, that may have been a makeup call. Let's take a look. Because he looked out to me.
Makeup call.
Down there at first, he did hang on to it. So, 2nd and 3rd and 1 out.
Over the years, I've learned that the baseball gods will often equalize things regardless of what the umpires or the players feel. So that may be one of those situations where we had a little divine intervention.
Could be. Kurt Schmidtke up, and Vic, Tom asked you about about how the series is going for you. Hitting a home run, I think, is the way he put it.
Yeah, we set a bar that we wanted to achieve with the Players Club and the trade show, and just offer the players a little bit more. And I'm happy to report that I think we exceeded the bar, and I'm thrilled about that.
The Players Club is the bar?
Dun-dun-dun. Yes, that also, Joel. No, it went very well, and for the 25th anniversary, it's about the players. It's always about the players and what we can do to make things better and make the tournament more interesting.
Deep to left field, Poe back for it, and he will backpedal, make the catch. The runner on 3rd will tag and score on the sacrifice fly, 6-1.
Joel, I have to ask Vic, the team you put together, great job. Where did you find Amber Boletto?
I've actually known Amber since she was a teenager. She played in the softball league that I used to run. I was the president of up in Lake Arrowhead. So I've known her for some time, and I watched her develop into a beautiful young lady and an aspiring actress.
Prentice swings sharply hit to 3rd, the throw over to 1st, and that will do it for the 5th inning. We want to stay here? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Okay, so we've played 6-1 now for the Rangers.
The rest of our team, Tom, of course, I've known my son Michael since second one.
Right.
And we're happy to see the job he's doing as the producer and the technical director, and certainly had his hands full here, not knowing what to expect. And for the people out there that don't know, there's a lot that goes into this behind the scenes, and I'm very proud of Miles Steller and Amber Boletto, and of course, Joel, you've done a heck of a job as well. And we've had some other people that attend ASU that have been able to help us out a little bit. Taylor Kraus, and we've managed to patch together a good team that gets it, and they're very committed to making sure that we're giving the best of what we've got to the players and to the tournament.
What about Brandon?
Brandon Vasquez, he's been our everything guy. He does camera work. He assists me in running the store, setting up for the trade show, breaking down the trade show. And he's resting now because I've worked him hard. And
of course.
Then Annette Tapia and her daughter Antoinette, they do a heck of a job. I can't say enough about Annette and the things she does in the store to make sure things are stable and running in a steady fashion. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my wife Sandy, who, of course, is the straw that stirs the drink behind the scenes.
She's been your technical gal, kind of, hasn't she?
She has been. She's been working not only her regular job, but she's been taking care of things from behind the scenes, the scoring, the adjustments, a lot of the video and technical things that are going on to assist us in presenting things in what I consider an admirable fashion.
Starting things off here in the top of the sixth, Central Coast Tigers trailing 6-1, and they have the 9-10-1 batters due up. Ernie Salinas leading things off. He tapped one back to the pitcher, his only other trip to the plate back in the third. In the sixth now, he swings and taps one foul first base side.
You know, Vic, I know you've been planning this for a long time, and you started thinking about this back in January when you brought this whole idea to Steve and myself out in Palm Springs. So this has taken a lot of work to just get to this point.
It's been a learning experience, and of course, with anything, you want to get all the prior plans in place so that you're doing the best that you can do and trying to cover all the angles. And again, it's been a challenge.
That was a fly ball out into right field. Turned out to be a base hit. Close play at first on the attempt at the 9-3 putout. And our base umpire, Mike Bell, almost got caught with his back to the play, as you noticed, but he was safe just barely. Was Ernie Salinas, one on, nobody out. And this is the, third time in 4 innings that they have gotten the leadoff runner on, have the Central Coast Tigers, but they've only pushed across the 1 run. Mike Jennings up, and then the top of the order.
We were saying earlier, Vic, that no lead is safe in the MSBL World Series.
No, in 20 years of coaching and sponsoring and playing here myself, I can honestly say that a 10-run lead in men's senior baseball here at the World Series is like a 1-run lead in the major leagues.
Right.
Squares to bunt Jennings and bunts it foul. Hit a sacrifice fly, his only other time up to score the 1 run that the Tigers have managed to produce so far today.
You know, Joel, one of the things I've noticed in watching the many ball games that we have an opportunity to watch here is that as players transition back from the aluminum to the wood, they're having to make the adjustments as far as bunting and moving runners and doing the fundamental things from years past. The ball doesn't fly off the wood the same way. The outfield plays differently. So it's a different game. And slowly but surely, I think the players are making those adjustments, as are the coaches.
Well, that one kind of flew off the wood of Mike Jennings' bat. Do we have a look at that?
Vic, I hate to even use this as a promotion, but wood bat. We had plenty of wood bat vendors here this weekend, didn't we?
Absolutely. And tremendous job scheduling, Tom, as far as making sure that we had wood bat games here and around the stadium. So I'm appreciative of that. And I know the vendors were as well. We had a ton of happy vendors, and that's the goal at the end of the day.
Throw back to first. On the strike bunt, they've got a man in a rundown. They'd get the man to third, and tagged out is Jennings on the way back to first. So that'll be 1 out. They did get the runner to third, though, as Wolf had squared to bunt. And, oddly enough, over at second base, Salinas actually fell down. You can't really see it on that angle. And they tag him out to finish the play. But when all was said and done, and now I think maybe Jennings is complaining that he thought, I'm not sure what he's complaining about.
Oh, Joel, he can't even go back to the dugout with his guys. He's got to be fit to be tied. Is this the 3rd time he's been out?
No, he was up once and hit a sacrifice fly. Hadn't even been on base up until now.
Jennings?
Yeah, Mike Jennings.
Wasn't he the man that was picked off first base?
No.
Oh, okay. Guess I'm watching a different game.
That was actually the... let me see here. As we get a base hit down the line in left field, that's going to go all the way into the corner. Wolf will trot into second. He will hold there with an RBI double. It is now 6-2.
I'm sure that compounded the frustration of the base runner that got picked off to see that double.
Somebody that looked like Jennings got picked off earlier.
No, you're right. It wasn't. Dale Craig, it was the guy who got picked off, but Jennings was running for him at the time. So that's why you were thinking that it was Jennings, which it was. I mean, he was the guy. As we get another
I believe that's
runner
why
out
he
to
was
second.
a little bit frustrated going back to the dugout.
I would say you're probably right.
Well, at the end of the day, a coach always wants to look smart for making those substitutions and changes, and I'm not sure that worked out as far as the coach was concerned. But it is what it is, and it's an interesting game, and you got to give props to the other team for making the play.
You're saying the decision to have him square to bunt, or are you saying the decision to courtesy run him a couple innings ago?
I think more of the courtesy running, but coaches have their own game going on within the game. So
I never think of courtesy running as looks like Poe tried to bunt his way on, bunts it foul. I never think of courtesy running as a coaching decision, and in my opinion, it shouldn't be. That is to say, courtesy running is about allowing players who can't continue to play if they're not able to run, because they have injuries or for whatever reason or they're older. It's not about deciding. It's not like a pinch run. Nice play.
Ooh, great play.
By the first baseman to snag that one. I think he got it on the fly. I'm calling it a line out. And that'll be the second out of the inning.
Well, I'm not so sure I agree with you, Joel, about that.
Well, no,
coaches have been known to manipulate the rules
absolutely.
to accomplish various and sundry goals.
I think you're missing the point I'm trying to make, which is not that it isn't in actuality a coaching decision. What I'm saying is that it shouldn't be. I'm saying, and I've always thought that, for example, you could really remove that. Because these are not pinch runners, they are courtesy runners. It's a courtesy, and it's something to allow people who wouldn't otherwise be able to run. And so, in my opinion, you shouldn't be able to gain an advantage by doing that. And I've always thought, as we got a base hit to left field, let's see if they send him home. He's going to run, and the throw coming in toward the plate is offline. And a good job by Wolf, or the man running for Wolf, that was Donnie Schuler, to come around to score. And it is 6-3.
I think, Joel, a good manager can manipulate that particular portion of our rules to his team's benefit.
That's interesting because they've now used 3 different courtesy runners in the game. Because we had Schuler running for Wolf, and now Poe has come in to run for Craig, who has the RBI base hit there.
Right.
6-3. Lord is now up. No, I agree with you. I've always thought that there should be a rule in MSBL baseball, if you're going to use the courtesy runner, that says that courtesy runners can't steal. And that would remove the incentive. Now, granted, courtesy runners are kind of a hit and miss thing because the courtesy runner is the last batted out. So you never really know if it's going to be a faster guy or a slower guy that ends up being the guy that runs. The 1-1 pitch.
Kind of adds a new element, Joel.
I heard that somewhere.
Yeah, kind of adds a new element.
I don't agree. I mean, it does. I agree that it does add an element. I just think that it's an unfair element, that it goes beyond the purpose of the courtesy runner, which is to allow players to play beyond when they might otherwise be able to play. The whole point of the MSBL, Senior Baseball League, is to extend the careers of, recreational ball players. And if you have a guy, and it's say a 45 and over game like this one, and maybe he's had some knee surgeries or something, and he can still bat and he can still play, but running the bases is tough for him. It allows him to keep playing. Fly ball into center field. Back for it, Glockner. He'll camp under it and make the catch for the out. But they do get a couple of runs here in the top of the 6th inning. We have played 5.5 from Tempe Diablo, and it is 6-3 for the Rangers. Welcome back out to Tempe Diablo Stadium. Joel Becker, Tom Prendergast, joined by Vic Puglisi here in the bottom of the 6th inning as the 3-2 Rangers come to bat, already on top in the game, but 6-3 as the Tigers have come back to cut the lead in half. 6-3 now for the 3-2 Rangers. They'll have Alex Garcia, Mike Moranti, and Glenn Powers due up, although I believe we're going to get a pinch hitter when Doc Powers is due up, but we'll have to wait and see until it becomes official. Garcia from the left side facing Steve Tolley, who has gone the whole way for the Tigers. Both pitchers have started and gone into the 6th inning so far. Getting back to our discussion about courtesy runners as a swing and a fly ball out into center field. Marshall in for it. Can he get there? No. It'll drop in front of him for a leadoff single by Garcia. That is his first hit of the game, 1 for 3, second time on base. And we'll see if the Rangers, last time they gave up a run, the following inning they got a, well, actually they threatened but never did score. We'll see if they can answer this time around. 6-3 and Moranti up. A lot of people don't know this, but Major League Baseball actually did have courtesy runners at one time. Everybody asks what it is as he squares the bunt, bunts it foul behind home plate. And it'll be 0-1, but a lot of people wonder what courtesy runners are when they're not familiar with MSBL baseball. The major leagues actually had them. They stopped using them in the 30s, but prior to the 30s, occasionally they would, because of course your stadiums in those days, runner goes, the pitch is a pitch out, throw down to second is high, and a head first slide by Garcia. He is safe with the stolen base, runner on second, nobody out. Quite a slide.
Yeah, I noticed he had his face turned towards the throw, which is not necessarily a good thing for a base runner. Should that throw go errant, you get a little free dental work.
There's the throw down to second, and as you can see, a little high. 1-1, and a swing and a fly ball into center field. Marshall over for this one. This time he has time to get under it, make the catch, 1 away. Anyway, getting back to courtesy runners, in the major leagues, in those days, stadiums didn't have light banks like they do now. Anybody who used to go to the old Wrigley Field before they put lights up there would know about that. And so, of course, games, if you had a 3 o'clock game, for example, if you started the game too early, then people couldn't go to it. If you started the game too late, then the game would get called on account of darkness sometimes. And so in those days, Major League Baseball had the ability to do a courtesy runner if both managers agreed to it, for things like pitchers and catchers, to keep the game sped up. Fly ball, shallow center field, back for it. The shortstop Lord will make a nice over-the-shoulder catch for the second out of the inning. The pinch hitter for Powers, Novello, out. That was Gary Novello.
One of the things with the courtesy runners that an enlightened manager will do is he'll arrange his lineup accordingly to ensure that he gets the runner in there that he's looking for in a certain situation without having to use a substitution or pinch runner rule.
That's when you're talking about the manipulation of it. But again, in the old days of Major League Baseball, it was just simply a time management technique. They were it wasn't to extend careers or anything, except in the case of Babe Ruth. But everybody else, it wasn't about that. It was about, hey, we want to give the catcher a chance to put his gear on and not slow the game up, because if the game gets slowed up too much, we're going to have to call it in the 7th inning or the 6th inning or something because it's getting too dark. And so for time management purposes, as Rex Cox is standing in with 2 outs, man on second, takes a ball 2-1, they would allow the catcher or pitcher or whatever, again, if both managers agreed to it before the game, to have courtesy runners. In MSBL, like we said, it's designed to be more about extending careers, but like you said, sometimes team managers try and manipulate.
Absolutely, and perhaps this scenario will demonstrate to the fans out there a way to actually do that, and hopefully there are some coaches listening. You have a fellow that you know needs a courtesy runner, and he gets a base hit, so he's at first base. Very wise to put a good bunter with some speed behind the courtesy runner in the lineup.
Texas Leaguer into left field. That's going to be a base hit, and coming around to score is Garcia. The throw well offline. That's going to allow Cox to head into second base. RBI single, taking second on the throw, and it is 7-3.
And the reason why you would do that, Joel, is that you would then have your runner that was out, your batter runner, would be your last out.
1 second here. We were getting another batter coming in, Mark Schmock. I'm guessing he's being added to the bottom of the lineup, as we are at the bottom of the lineup here, as opposed to being pinch hit for Glockner. In fact, it looks like they're going to add a couple of guys to the bottom. But Mark Schmock is standing in now with a runner on second and 2 outs. Go ahead, Vic.
Well, the way that you then are using the courtesy runner rule to your advantage is by putting a fast runner behind your courtesy runner. You have him lay down a bunt, move the runner over, hence he becomes the last out.
And he's
your
the courtesy
runner is now at, or excuse me, your original runner is now at second base. And at that point, you employ the courtesy runner, accomplishing 2 goals, moving the runner and getting the faster runner at second base.
The only thing about that is, if I understand MSBL rules correctly, if you're going to use a courtesy runner, you have to use him when the guy first gets to base.
And that may very well be now, but back in the day when I was coaching, that wasn't necessarily the case.
So apparently it's the Vic Puglisi rule that they have instituted here to try and get around allowing managers to do that. So 2-2. Of course, individual franchises, as the count goes 3-2 to Mark Schmock, individual franchises have different courtesy runner rules that are different from the World Series rules. 3-2 pitch and a swing and a comebacker off the leg of Tully over to third to first for the out. Wow, 1-5-3 on the putout to Schmock, and hopefully Tully is okay. So they get 1 run on a couple of base hits. A stolen base and 1 man left will go to the 7th. 7-3 our score in favor of the Rangers. Welcome back out to Tempe Diablo Stadium. Joel Becker along with Tom Prendergast, joined by Vic Puglisi here. How are things going down in the novelty shop?
Oh, things are moving along nicely down there. A little respite yesterday with the changeover in age group, so we've all kind of recharged our batteries and looking forward to ending the week strong.
Week 3. Sean Knopf James Hickson, Bill Marshall due up for the Tigers. 5, 6, 7 in the order. Tigers trailing now 7-3. They did get 2 in the top of the 6th to try and make this more of a ball game. Swing and one off the pitcher's glove. Coming in is Wolf over to first. Nice play. Well, that's 2 straight plays we've had in the game where it has gone off the pitcher to a position player, and he still managed to get the out.
You're returning the favor in a sense.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things you just hit on, Joel, very important as a person that has trained umpires over the years.
Mm-hmm.
I've always found it interesting that the umpires have 2 different outlooks. They get frustrated by the coaches and players that don't know the rules, and they get equally frustrated by the coaches and players that do know the rules. So you can't have it both ways, but that often happens.
I was going to say, you can certainly try. James Hickson up 0 for 2. He grounded to short and hit one to first. In his first 2 plate appearances, 2-0 pitch. Swings at what was probably ball 3 and sends it foul off the dugout of the Tigers. Trailing in the game by 4, 7-3. They are 1-1 in the tournament. The Rangers team is 0-2, but they have been able to put up some runs in this game so far. 2-1 now the count. So there's a foul over the screen out of play behind home. We were talking about the novelty shop a minute ago. For those people who are watching the daily news show, the wardrobe that I am wearing, not all this year, but has all come from your shop. There's a line drive toward the gap in left center field. Good job by Marshall to come over and cut it off. That'll hold Hickson to a single, 1 on, 1 out here in the 7th for the Tigers. So over the years, coming to the MSBL World Series, I have acquired a couple of MSBL World Series logoed pieces, and so when you see me wearing one of those, every one of them, some of them from this year and some of them from, I think I've got one that goes all the way back to the 15th anniversary, and they all came from your shop.
Yeah, and it's always a charge for myself and my staff to see people all over the country at different airports, not necessarily going to MSBL events, but just wearing their stuff in a casual fashion. And I usually always will go up to them and introduce myself, and I get a kick out of it.
Bill Marshall standing in from the left side here with 1 on and 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. He swings and hits one toward first. Nice play by the first baseman. We'll get the lead runner at second. Nope, dropped. And so our base umpire, Mike Bell, who originally called him out, has changed the call to safe because he made that call a little too quick. An error to the second base, or excuse me, to the shortstop, Lord. And it's first and second and 1 out.
And you're right, Joel. That would go to an error by the shortstop. However,
the throw was there,
and the target the shortstop gave was right through the runner, so he caused the throw to be probably lost the sight line of it by putting his glove on the inside of the diamond and giving first baseman a better target. Probably could have avoided that and made that play cleanly.
Absolutely. Kimo Flores over there at first maybe could have done him a favor by taking another step to his left, because he's a left-handed throwing first baseman, which is not uncommon, which is much easier than if a right-hander gets the same play. It's really hard for that right-hander to not throw through the runner. But with a lefty, if he takes 1 or 2 steps toward home, it's a much better angle, and you can get that throw over to second. There's a line drive off of the coach, Mike Jennings, there at third base.
And those little things, Joel, are the things that make baseball the great game that it is.
It is, and especially in MSBL baseball, it oftentimes is the kinds of differences between teams that win champions here at the World Series and teams that don't, are those routine-type plays. You know, when you make the little things, the step to step to your left to throw and so on, and you don't give extra outs in an inning, that's how you win championships usually. There's a little Texas leaguer towards short. There's going to be a play at third for the lead runner, and that's all they'll get. So 2 outs, still first and second. Schuler gets on the fielder's choice. That'll go 6-5, 2 away.
And of course, major leaguers are drilled and drilled and
Oh,
drilled
yeah.
and taking care of those little things, so they make it look so easy on TV. And a lot of times, the casual fan doesn't recognize of what actually went into that play to make that play 99.9% of the time.
Right. Now, I mean, even major leaguers will drop easy pop-ups from time to time and so on. Everybody makes errors, but like you said, the big difference. Now, when you were managing World Series, or excuse me, MSBL teams, I'm sure you had them out there practicing, 5, 6, 7 times a week?
Absolutely, and sometimes more under different conditions and in different scenarios, just to go through all of those things so that it becomes second nature.
That's the tough thing is, of course, rec baseball. I mean, and the teams that I play for, we're lucky if before the season we can get out a few times, maybe once a week or so on. And then usually when the season starts, it's you play games and that's about it. And I mean, and it's understandable. We all have things to do outside of baseball, and you can't really expect. I mean, it's not like major leaguers; it's their job, or even minor leaguers or college players or whatever. 1-1 pitch popped up. It's going to be in foul ground. Back for it, Kukta, and he makes a nice play. That is a tough play to make for the foul out and the third out of the inning. So unable to score any runs are the Tigers. We have played 7.5 innings. It is stretch time here at Tempe Diablo. 7-3 for the Rangers. Welcome back out to Tempe Diablo Stadium. Joel Becker, Tom Prendergast. We'd like to thank Vic Puglisi for joining us for a couple innings here as we move to the bottom of the 7th. Rangers coming to bat. The top of the order due up, but I do believe they're going to end up adding at least one more player to the bottom of their lineup, just basing that on who is standing on deck. Well, I may be wrong, actually. The man who's standing on deck is Kevin King, so that may mean that Mark Smock, who finished off last inning, was actually pinch hitting for the leadoff batter Glockner, because he is not on deck. So instead of him being added to the bottom, it looks like Smock was a pinch hitter for Glockner. I'm sure all of you scoring at home will want that update so you can get your books right. 1-5-3 was the play on Smock last inning. So we'll have the 2-3-4 men due up here in the 7th. King, Flores, and Doherty. And King, who's had a decent day, he singled and scored back in the first. He's also popped out to the catcher and flew out to left field. Takes a ball. Tolley's pitch and a high pop-up behind second. And a nice play over there to make it Doug Wolf. And there is one away. So King now 1-for-4 with 3 fly balls. Flores and Doherty. Kimo came in, is playing first all game. He was the one that made that play last inning we were talking about where he made a nice play, tried to get the lead runner at second, and the shortstop dropped the ball. Batting from the left side with one out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 7th. 7-3 game. Rangers on top of the Tigers. See if they can mount a comeback. Can't do it while they're in the field, though. 1-1 the count to Flores. He has been on base all 3 times. Walked and scored in the first. Singled, was stranded in the second. And he'll single again here in the 7th. His 4-for-4 for Kimo Flores. Excuse me, 3-for-3. with the 3 singles and the walk. On first base yet again. He has been making a living out there today. Brings up Tom Doherty. Doherty is 1 for 3, singled and scored in the first, stole a base. Flew out to right in the second, and then got on a fielder's choice back in the 5th, stole third, and came home. And there's a swing and a miss. Doherty, then Vestal and Schmidtke due up. Oh, 1 pitch. Floats out high and away for a ball, 1-1. Fouled straight back right on it, but back to the wall. 1-2. We'd like to thank Vic Puglisi for joining us for a couple innings. You can visit Vic down at the novelty shop here in the mezzanine level of the Tempe Diablo Stadium for the rest of the tournament. Some sort of discussion coming on. Not sure what the folks in the Tiger dugout might have been saying to Sarge out there, but everything's ready to go. 1-2 the count. From the belt, the pitch, way outside. Nice stop by Jennings behind the plate. 2-2. As you see Doherty grab a little dirt and stand back in. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled out of play. Count remains 2-2. Things heating up here at Tempe as the sun goes higher in the sky. A swing and a fly ball out to right field. Back forward Forsman. It's going to get over his head and down for a base hit. Into second base goes Doherty. To third base goes Flores. Second and third, 1 out. And the Rangers have something going here again in the 7th. Forsman kind of got a bad break on that one out in right field, but I'm not sure he would have been able to catch it anyway. Ended up going over his head. Did a good job of chasing it down. Second and third, 1 out, and that will bring in Ronnie Vestal. The Rangers have already attempted a squeeze play in this game, so you never know what they might do with 1 out. They have a 4-run lead here, though, 7-3. But a discussion between Vestal and the third base coach as they decide or trying to figure out what they want to do here. So the discussion is over. Vestal will stand in from the right side. First pitch from Tully. Swing and a miss. Vestal in the game was hit by a pitch twice already. He also doubled, so he's 1 for 1, been on base 3 times. If Tully were to hit another guy, he would be out of the game. There's a fly ball shallow left field. It's probably not going to be deep enough to get the run home. Left fielder makes the catch. They bluff the run. Throw comes in as Rich Poe does a good job of getting it in quickly, and there's 2 away. So not deep enough. With another runner over at third base, they might have had a chance to get him home on the sacrifice fly. But with Kimo Flores, who doesn't run badly, but he's not one of their speedsters, he bluffed a run, but he wasn't really going to go unless the throw was way offline or something like that. So they'll need a 2-out something by Kurt Schmidtke. There have been a number of times in this game where both teams have had opportunities with runners on third and less than 2 outs, and they have not been able to come up with the RBIs. We'll see if they can get a 2-out something from Schmidtke as he will take a strike. Kurt is 2 for 2 on the game. He singled in the first and third, hit a sacrifice fly for an RBI in the 5th. He swings and grounds one up the middle. Shortstop Lord. He'll snag it. Throw to first. Offline. The tag is made. And that is the end of the inning. So it'll go down 6-3 on the putout. And once again, a team with a man on third and less than 2 outs, they fail to score. We have played 7 full from Tempe Diablo with the score. Rangers on top of the Tigers, 7-3. Back live at Tempe Diablo Stadium, Joel Becker, Tom Prendergast. MSBL World Series Baseball, 25th anniversary of the MSBL MABL World Series. Mike Jennings leading things off here in the 8th. His Central Coast Tigers trailing in the game 7-3. And Bill Mann, who has gone the distance so far for the Rangers, throws him a ball to start things off. The 1-0 pitch is slapped toward third. Nice play by Moranti. And he makes the catch for the out. 1 away. We'll see if we can't get a look at that one. You can see he ripped a pretty good line drive and right to Moranti, who bobbled it just a little bit, but managed to hang on for the catch. That brings the top of the order due up, and Doug Wolf will stand in. He has scored one of the 3 runs by this Tiger team. Takes the first pitch up and in for a ball. 1-0. He singled and scored back in the 6th. Also has grounded out to third twice. And this time will ground to second. Moranti, that's Mike Moranti making the play, over to first for the out. And there's 2 gone here in the 8th, and the Tigers are starting to run out of outs here.
Well, they're going to have to get something, Joel. They got to get, they need probably if they don't get a run this inning, boy.
Well, then they would need 4 next inning at least.
Yep.
Because we're in the top of the 8th, trailing by 4, 7-3. Rich Poe up. Now, if Rich does get out, then at least it will give me the opportunity to pull the Mike Shen and old Abner's done it again, because they've got the number 2 hitter up at the moment. That's the thing here with 2 outs. It's almost one of those things where you're like, well, you'd like to push at least a run or 2 across in this inning, but at the same time, you don't want the bottom of the order up next inning.
Right.
We'll see what happens. Time is called by Poe. Poe in the game is 1 for 3. Flew out to center and popped out to first. Also, base hit stranded at third. Back in the 4th inning. Takes a ball. Get any good shots?
Well, we're going to see, Joel. You never know when you're down there taking pictures.
Daily News. Everybody reads that, don't they? Fly ball behind third, foul, and gets down. Moranti can't make a play on it.
I think they'd like to look at the pictures. I don't know how much reading they're doing.
That's one of the favorites. And you can get that online, right?
You can.
MSBLWorldSeries.com. Same places you can get the scores.
Pretty much, Joel. It's the only place you can get it now.
Well, I've seen it at Vic Puglisi's, what do you call it, novelty shop. They've got copies of it there, don't they?
They do.
1-1 pitch is down and in for a ball, 2-1.
Hit.
2-1 pitch, swung on and hit too short. Simmons makes the catch. And that will do it. Well, they will have the 3-4-5 men coming up in the ninth. We'll see if they can't hold them and keep it a 7-3 game. We have played 7.5 here at Tempe Diablo. 7-3 for the Rangers. Back live at Tempe Diablo Stadium, Joel Becker, Tom Prendergast, as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning. 3-2 Rangers on top of the Central Coast Tigers. 7-3 our score. 7, 8, 9 men due up for the Rangers here, as Steve Tully will try and hold them and give his team one more chance to come back in this one.
Joel, I know last inning you were watching the play. The Tigers' Donnie Schooler ripped a ball foul right at the third base coach.
Mike Jennings, your
who's
favorite
been
guy.
in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he liked being in the middle of that foul ball.
He took that one right in the midsection, didn't he?
Wow.
So, Prentice, Garcia, Moranti due up for the Rangers, as it looks like they are going to pinch hit for Prentice. Peter Schultz has come in to hit here. A very large roster for this Rangers team, 31 players. That doesn't include their manager. 1-2 the count to Schultz, his first at bat, and did a good job getting away. I wonder if he's aware that if he gets hit, Steve Tully is thrown out of the game because he's already hit 3. Lean into one. There's a swing and a foul. Count remains 2-2. Tully has gone the distance for the Tigers. They are 1-1 coming into this game. The Rangers are 0-2, so if the score stays like it is, they would both be 1-2. Swing and a miss. The ball in the dirt. The throw by Jennings down to first, and it was taken by Hickson for the out. So that will go down as a strikeout 2-3. I believe that is the third strikeout of the game by Tully.
Joel, manager Daugherty was talking with the umpires between innings. And she was trying to explain to him that she was going to make some roster changes. And she and Mike Bell kind of got into it.
Really?
Yeah.
As we get another pinch hitter, Jerry Lippold has come in to bat for Garcia.
And in a very friendly way.
I see.
But field umpire Mike Bell told her, he said, listen, I've got 3 daughters. I know how to handle this.
I see. Pop up on the infield. In for it, Wolf. At second will make the catch.
Like any other manager, she was trying to get whatever advantage for her guys she could.
I thought maybe she asked Mike Bell whether or not he'd seen the replay of that play at second base earlier in the game.
On the in the big picture, I think the Rangers have come up on the plus side of calls gone for and calls against.
I would definitely say that Mike Jennings agrees with you there.
Yes, he does.
2 outs, and Mike Moranti will bat for himself. 1 for 3 on the night. He singled, hit an infield fly, and flew out to center field his last time up. Comes in, nobody on, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, and lifts one out to center field again. Bill Marshall under it. He will make the catch, and we go to the 9th. One more chance for the Central Coast Tigers. They trail it by 4. We'll see if they can't make this one a game. 7-3 for the Rangers. Back live at Tempe Diablo Stadium, we go to the 9th here. And as Mike Shannon from the Cardinals would say, Ole Abner's done it again. 3, 4, 5 men due up for the Tigers in the top of the 9th, trailing at 7-3. Craig, Lord, and Knopf. Or Knopf. I never actually asked. We're trained by Kurt Knoop that it's Knopf.
And, Joel, nobody in the bullpen.
Nope. As Bill Mann has gone the whole way for this Ranger team. You know, the Tigers play the next game in this doubleheader, as there is a base hit over the head of the second baseman into right field, and Craig is on once again. He has been on base 3 times, 3 for 4 on the night. And they will send up the courtesy runner. Rich Poe will go out to run. And that brings up Bob Lord. Amber Boletto on the way to the stadium, and you'll get to see her in today's daily show. When I said Old Abner's done it again to Amber a couple of games ago in a live broadcast, she said Amber who, or Abner who?
She's done a remarkable job, Joel, as have you.
Thank you. Bob Lord swings and a base hit between short and third, and, well, something cooking here. First and second, nobody out. Sean Knopf is up next, 2 on and nobody out. And the tying run is now on deck in this game. Like you said, though, no action in the bullpen. It's not like they don't have enough guys over there. I wonder who their closer is. First pitch to Lord, swinging at the first pitch, and a base hit into right center field. Glockner comes over to cut it off. They'll hold the runner at third. Bases loaded. Nobody out. No lead is safe, Tom.
Well, boy, you would think at the very least we'd see a visit to the mound by somebody, and maybe a little bit of action stirring in the bullpen.
Anything could happen. So far, nothing. Hickson will be up now. Bases loaded. He represents the tying run at the plate now. Does James Hickson. He is 1 for 3 on the night. And now here is that obligatory visit to the mound, it would seem.
I think at the very least, Joel, you got to have that.
He must be their pitching coach, because I'm pretty sure that's not their manager.
Interestingly enough, the Ranger players appear to be looking into the stands for someone. You don't think they're looking for the closer, do you?
Up in the stands?
Well, what else could they be looking for?
So a quick word.
I know that the masseuse is downstairs, and quite possibly the closer could be getting a quick massage.
Why wouldn't you, before coming in? So Hickson standing in to face Bill Mann. Bases loaded, nobody out. 7-3 game. Tying run at the plate. They've been swinging at first pitches here in this inning. Let's see if he does. He takes a ball. Exciting finish to the game here. 45 and over Americans. Swinging a ground ball, could be 2. 2 second for 1, over to first. Double play. A run will score and make it 7-4. But a big twin killing there, 4-6-3 for the Rangers. And there's 2 gone.
Well, that was exactly what the Rangers needed.
Absolutely. What do they need? They are getting somebody up in the bullpen, but seems like they need him a lot less right now.
That's correct. You never know.
Runner on third. So with the twin killing, they no longer have the tying run at the plate. He is now on deck. Bill Marshall is up. Marshall is 0 for 2. Walked and scored back in the 4th. Flew out to third, got on in an error. Trying to tie the game. Only that swing. Kind of hard to do when you're down by 3 and there's only one guy on, but he tried.
Yes, he did.
Maybe he figured if you can hit it over 367 down the line, you get 2 runs out of it. There's a fly ball, could end the game. 2 second base, Moranti under it, and the Rangers have won it. 7-4 the final score, so a good opportunity there for the Tigers to get something going. They did get the 1 run, but a double play really did kind of put a damper on things before all was said and done. 7-4 our final score. That's our last live game webcast. So if you want to, I don't know, mention anything before we head on out, Tom?
Well, Joel, it's been a great time down here with you. We've had certainly it's been a good World Series so far. And I think if we get the opportunity, we'd certainly like to speak with the Rangers manager.
Well, you'll be able to hear that on the Daily Show for tomorrow, hopefully. But in the meantime, we'll finish things up here. 7-4 the final score. The Rangers beat the Central Coast Tigers. We thank you for joining us. I'd like to thank the whole crew, Mike and Miles, and all of our camera operators today, and our runner, Shauna, as well. Joel Becker for Tom Prendergast saying good day from Tempe Diablo Stadium. 7-4 Rangers, the final.
Bye.